Hello, my name's Greg Egan, and today I want to talk about 10 tips for dealing with a partner who is a narcissist. Now, in dealing with a partner who exhibits narcissistic traits, this can be a challenging and emotionally draining experience. So, here I'm going to give you 10 strategies to consider when navigating a relationship with a narcissistic partner. And through these videos, I'm going to give some of my personal experiences just to give you context, as I myself at one point have had to escape an abusive relationship and move on from my life and also heal. So the first thing here, and this was an important thing for me as well, was to recognize the signs that your partner had narcissistic traits, or even that it was an abusive relationship. And the general recommendations I give to people here is that you should educate yourself about narcissistic and abusive behaviors and narcissistic characteristics. Understanding the signs will help you identify and validate your experiences and also reduce self-doubt and confusion, and also help you understand what is an abusive versus healthy relationship. 2, it's important to set boundaries in a relationship. Whether it's abusive or not, you want to set boundaries. And so establishing clear and firm boundaries to protect your emotional well-being is just as important in anything you do, whether it be work or whether it be in a relationship. But it's extremely important when your partner is exhibiting narcissistic traits, because narcissistic individuals often push the boundaries and manipulate others and try to control others. So be assertive in communicating your needs and expectations and what you are willing and not willing to tolerate. And also, looking up on how to create healthy boundaries in a relationship can also help. One of the mistakes I made very early on in the relationship with my ex-abusive partner was that I did not assert myself or put in clear, healthy boundaries. And this resulted in me suffering a lot of psychological trauma in the relationship, because I let her push me and to do everything she wanted. Everything had to be on her terms. Everything was by what she wanted. At times, she even banned me from seeing some of my friends. And so as a result of that, I had to take sick days to actually seek mental health support from my friends who my ex-partner had banned me from seeing, because they had identified her as abusive. And narcissists definitely do not like to be challenged. And so anyone that does challenge this narrative or their view on the world, they will try to cut off from your life. So it's important that you have clear boundaries in place within the relationship. And because also I did not set healthy boundaries in the beginning, I lost contact even with my own child for many years, who was her stepdaughter, because of expectations she was putting on me, which were unrealistic. And I did not assert my boundaries to a strong enough point, or even assert my needs in the beginning of the relationship. And even when I did, they were quickly shut down. 3, take care of yourself. Prioritize self-care and your emotional well-being during the relationship. Engage in activities that bring you joy and help you maintain your sense of self outside of the relationship. What I often say to people is have your individual stress management activities, your hobbies and interests, and then have your couple stress management and activities that you do together. And also maintain your social networks outside of the relationship. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or professionals around you. This is extremely important in managing that self-care and managing your general mental health. And also building your resilience. Number 4, practice self-compassion. Recognize that a narcissist's behavior is not your fault. It's important to show yourself kindness, compassion, and understanding. Refrain from blaming yourself or internalizing their criticisms, because they will gaslight you. They will make you feel bad about yourself. So try not to take that on board. Recognize that you did not cause the narcissist's behaviors. as they will often blame you for the way they are behaving towards you. 5, seek professional help. Consider seeking help or therapy or counseling for yourself to gain insight, cope with the emotional impact of the relationship, and developing strategies for managing the dynamics in the relationship. The one mistake I made was not seeking help, seeking ongoing professional help during the relationship until after I walked out of that relationship. Then I finally sought help through victims of crime. But I wish I'd sought it during the relationship, because that would have helped me build some of that strength and resilience to have left the relationship earlier. But on the positives, at least I had a strong network of friends and family that helped me cope with the consequences of that relationship. 6, keep realistic expectations. Accept that you cannot change or fix the narcissistic behaviors of your partner. Trying to change them is often futile and can lead to further frustration and disappointment and even arguments. Focus on your own growth and well-being instead. As a social worker, I thought I could change my ex-partner's behavior and help her become a better person and reduce her abusive behaviors. And that if I showed enough caring, compassion, and all this, that would help. But over time, I realized that people with narcissistic traits don't see a problem with their behaviors and see everyone else as the problem. And I realized I was just wasting my time and energy rather than focusing on my own self-growth, resilience, and healing during the relationship and setting healthy boundaries. 7, and this is a big one, engaging in assertive communication. Communicate your needs and concerns clearly and assertively. Narcissistic individuals often struggle with empathy, and they never say sorry for the things they've done. And if they do, it's quite rare. So it's important to express yourself calmly and firmly whilst maintaining your boundaries. Though, that being said, building assertive communication skills and setting clear, healthy boundaries can help in empowering you. But a person with narcissistic traits also does not like to be challenged, and there can be risks involved in this. So just be careful. So express yourself when it is safe to do so. Like if I tried to assert myself and it was often faced with behaviors such as open aggression, screaming at me, even the silent treatment at time, as well as many other manipulative behaviors. So I did not always feel safe in that environment. And often I felt like walking on glass and eggshells. But it was still important to build these skills as a way to build. But it's still important to build these skills regardless, whether it's in the relationship, whether it's at work, and also to help with building a healthy relationship if it is possible in this situation or even in future relationships. 8, document incidents. Keep a record of specific incidents or patterns of behavior that concern you. This documentation can serve as a reference point and help you validate your experiences if needed, as narcissists tend to use gaslighting and manipulation as a tool to try and challenge your memory of events to suit their own viewpoint and their own agendas. For example, I would send emails to myself when incidents occurred, or talk to family, friends, and people I worked with, so that when my recollection of events was challenged, I could go back to these reference points, which really did help me a lot in building my resilience and my strength over time, and also validating my experiences. 9, consider your options when you're in a relationship like this. So evaluate whether the relationship is healthy or fulfilling for you, and whether it is meeting your needs. For example, because sometimes ending the relationship or seeking distance may be the best option for your overall well-being. Consult with trusted individuals and friends, or even professionals and family for guidance if need be, if you're feeling too lost in the relationship. For me, I consulted with family and friends around an exit plan to leave the relationship, as they could see the psychological damage the relationship was doing to me and my daughter, who was her stepdaughter over the period of the relationship. Focus on personal growth. Use the experience as an opportunity for personal growth and self-reflection. Develop self-awareness, build resilience, and learn from the challenges you face in the relationship. Seek personal fulfillment outside of the relationship and focus on some of your own individual goals. For me, I tried to focus on work, spending time with friends, building my own resilience through education of what abusive versus healthy relationship was, spending time in reflection and meditation, and at times alone to reflect on where I wanted to be in life and what I wanted from life. Conclusion, remember, dealing with narcissistic partner can be emotionally challenging, and it's important to prioritize your own well-being. If you're facing an abusive or toxic relationship, it may be necessary to seek professional help through the various hotlines in your countries or the various services in your countries, especially if you're looking at ending or exiting the relationship, which I'll put some videos up on later. There is help out there if you choose to leave a relationship with a narcissistic or abusive partner. As a survivor of domestic violence, I encourage everyone to seek help to escape the cycle of violence and start that healing process. If you're in New South Wales, I'm also a registered victims of crime counsellor in Australia, in New South Wales, Australia, that can help you on your healing journey, and a private practitioner that provides telephone and video counselling. And here's just an example of some of the Australian hotlines out there. So if you like these sort of videos, hit like, please subscribe, and tell me about your experiences and some of the things you did to help deal with a narcissist. Okay, thank you for listening.